I have made this video before, but I did make it a little bit too long, I think. I've made it again here because I'm still quite surprised by the results, and I think the idea is worth sharing. Now, I intended to make these three images into a joiner style image, a little bit like this one that I created around 2002. There were too many people in the way of this image, and it was much the same with this one as well. When I took these images, I had no thoughts at all of stitching them together. I'm still not quite sure what made me think to open all three of these images into Adobe Camera Raw and try the Panorama option, but I did. And I didn't expect the results I saw. There was some work to do, but it was a pretty good result. If only I had another image to fill in the missing parts. I looked to see what I had, and I found one more image to go with the other three. But as you can see, it was never ever shot with this technique in mind. As you can see, I've highlighted all four of these images. I'm going to hit the Enter key to open them up into Adobe Camera Raw. With Adobe Camera Raw open, I've used Ctrl-A to select all four of those thumbnails. I'm going to right click over one of them and choose Merge to Panorama. Well, as you can see, I've got all of the image or all of the aircraft in the frame, and I've got some repairs to do. But what I'm also going to do is tick the box to fill the edges. Now, it's not done a very good job down at the bottom left corner, but I feel pretty certain that with content-aware fill, we can easily repair the problem of that shadow in the bottom left corner. I think I can just see a little line up the top here, and I think it's repeated the line of the aerial. Nothing we cannot deal with. So I'm going to click Merge. I'm going to accept the name that I'm given, and we get a fifth thumbnail being created on the left hand side. We can either continue and manipulate that now, or if we click Done, everything will close down. But if I go back into Bridge, I've now got my original four, plus I've got a raw file here ready to manipulate. So with the image opened up into Adobe Camera Raw, I've gone ahead and done some color, clarity and contrast tweaks over on the right hand side, but we can see there's a gap in the aerial just by the tail, and we've got the aerial superimposed a little bit above and left, so we've got those two areas to fix. We've also got that deep shadow in the bottom left corner. I also would like to do something just to tone down that grass. To do that, I'm going to go to the color mixer, and I'm going to select saturation, and I'm going to click the targeted adjustment. Clicking into the grass, I'm just going to drag a little bit to the left, and you can see what I can do. I just want to take the worst of the glow of that green, just to tone it down very slightly. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go down to the bottom right and open this up into Photoshop, because I think we can repair the rest of this image there. With the image opened up into Photoshop, I've zoomed into the tail and I've selected my polygonal lasso tool from the toolbox on the left. I just want to select a little bit of this, a little bit more than I actually need. I'd like a bit of an overlap, something like that. From the select and mask at the top of the screen, something like, that'll do, 10-12%, we can see a nice softness. We're going to output this to a selection. Click OK. And I'm going to hit Ctrl-J to copy that selection to a new layer. So that's what we have. Now, if we select the Move tool from the top of the toolbox, we should be able to move that down. And I'm going to nudge it into place with my up arrows. I've got a little bit of a mismatch up here. If I hit Ctrl-T, I'll be able to rotate this very slightly, and I will get that spot on. Now once we're happy with that, we can save this as a Photoshop file, but in the interest of speed I'm just going to select both layers, right click, and I'm going to merge them. Because now we need to look at the problem at the top left, and I think we can quite easily do this with the spot healing brush. You can see I've got quite a big brush here, but if I wipe over that area, I feel certain with a couple of touches we can take both of those away. I'm being a bit heavy-handed here, but it seems to be working pretty well. I've selected that shadow with the polygonal lasso, edit, content aware fill, look over on the right hand side. Let's have a look at the auto setting. That looks pretty good. A couple of touches with the healing brush and we're going to be done. And here I'm just about to break my 5-minute rule, but not by much. I'll see you next time.